On this week's World of Saltwater Fishing, I'm with Captain Beau Woods, and we'll be running at a Cudjoe in the lower Florida Keys.
You got you a double on the tile, sir.
Beautiful size on them too. Check these out.
A good one.
There you go, target, buddy. Hand crank bottom fishing in depths ranging from 550 to over 750 feet of water.
Might be the one we're looking for, George.
It's a lot of work hand cranking these fish up, but the rewards are great and the eating is absolutely sensational.
George Poveromo's World of Saltwater Fishing. Big fish don't stand a chance.
Mention deep dropping for bottom fish in depths ranging from 500 feet of water to over 750 feet, and people automatically think electric reels. They want to do it the easy way, but yet there's a sporting way, and this is hand cranking these fish up from the depths. And I'm onto a monster here that's taken all my energy. I'm trying to keep this big weight off the bottom.
Definitely gaming, George. That ain't the bottom.
It is a workout.
Good thing it's no slouch.
I'm giving it everything I've got, and I'm pacing myself because it's a long way up from 750 feet of water.
Got some heft to it, eh?
God. And in my mind, I've got something sensational at the other end of the line.
I have a feeling we're going to be seeing some color shortly.
But more on this catch a little bit later. I met up with good friend Captain Beau Woods at a Cudjoe in the lower Florida Keys. He's an excellent guy, fun guy to share the boat with, and he knows these waters so incredibly well. And what's good about Beau is he knows how to be versatile.
I like to think of myself as a little bit of an opportunist guide. We've talked about that before. I don't stick with one fishery for very long. We'll have ups and downs in our fisheries with what's biting, what's not.
Beau and I decided to do something a little bit different in this trip, and this is something that I've done in the past, and I've written about it in Saltwater Sportsman magazine and talked about it at our Saltwater Sportsman National Seminar Series.
We were going to target fish from 750 into 550 and do it all by hand. No electrics involved.
I plugged in some of Beau's numbers in my Simrad GPS, and we took off.
Our weather conditions were looking perfect. All the weather men were telling us that we were going to have absolutely bluebird days.
The problem down here in the Florida Keys is when you have tunnel vision and you're trying to target one set goal, there's so many distractions along the way that sometimes it gets the better of you, and this was one case where we're crossing the reef. We had live goggle eyes on the well. We had some chum. We had some bottom fishing baits, obviously, since we're going to go out there and deep drop, and Beau said, everything looks good in the reef. Let's just go ahead, throw the hook in here, throw a chum bag over just for a few minutes, and maybe start collecting dinner a little bit early.
Come on, George. Let me see a red grouper, especially when it's big enough. 24, 25 incher.
We stopped, pulled up, dropped a chum bag in the water. Yellowtails popped up behind us really quick, along with a lot of bait.
Had to get a little further back. Once they spooked back, it took a minute.
There's the reward.
Hey, buddy.
Florida Keys Yellowtail.
Pulling a little more than that last
Every time you come tight and you start hearing a little bit of drag moving out, it's not bad.
I like when you come tight and it takes some drag. Yeah, that one's got a little more heft to it.
Yes, it does.
That one might make a sandwich for us.
So we start bailing some yellowtails. I think we probably stopped about a half a dozen of those, and in between that, we caught a big Jack Crevalle.
What you call there, Captain?
Jack Crevalle? Let's take a look at this thing.
Come around one more time,
Yeah.
I'll get you later for you. There you go, George.
All right, how'd I do?
I'm gonna let him keep it.
Go for
We'll give him a
I'll
minute.
retie there. Right on the bottom, if they just hit it and didn't last too long. And
So let him go.
let's go. I'm gonna put another hook on. Another VMC. Get down there.
Skunk's gone. Let's get something real.
I'm with you.
Said, you know what? Let's not slide off our goal here. Let's pull the anchor, run offshore, get on these numbers, and start getting our exercise.
George Poveromo's World of Saltwater Fishing, proudly brought to you by Mako. You'll find them where the fish are. Bass Pro Shops, your adventure starts here. Mercury Marine, go boldly. Simrad, and the new NSS Evo 3 display. Go with Simrad and go with confidence.
Beau Woods and I are hand-cranked deep dropping for blueline tilefish and Rosies off Cudjoe in the Big Pine and the lower Florida Keys region.
There are a lot of components to being successful at hand-crank deep dropping. And number one, you have to look at the outfit itself. You're going down to some pretty good depths. You need to be comfortable. You don't want anything big, heavy, and bulky. I was using a Penn Torque 30 lever drag 2-speed reel, where the 2-speed reel comes into play. If you hook up to something large and you need that cranking power, and this fish is hard to lift, you drop into low gear. The advantage is you could keep gaining line pretty effortlessly compared to high speed. Essential for this kind of fishing, as well as a very durable reel.
Like I said, everything you catch on the bottom out here is good to eat, whether it's a tile, snowy, yellow edge.
Now we're down 573, almost 600 feet. Is it dark at that level?
From my understanding, down beyond what's about 350 or so, there's no light penetration anymore. Hence why we put us a light on there. And I got a lot of people that swear by the light, no bite and all that.
Yep.
I've been out here before and forgot them at the house and still caught them. See a little color? Is it what we thought it was?
At the Blueline.
It is.
But delicious eating fish.
There you go.
Now, with Blueline top, is there any size?
There's no regulation on the size.
Yep.
No regulation on size at all. They fall under your grouper aggregate.
Okay.
So each person on the boat is allowed 3.
3 of these each, okay.
Right. So, but however, the snowies are open right now. So if you want to catch a snowy, that would fall under your aggregate too. So that would mean we'd have 1 snowy on board. Now we can have 5 tiles. Exactly.
Okay.
Let me get him on hook. Many a turn.
I'm telling you. So, we're going to do in the guessing department here, Blueline. Yeah, you got to cut.
I got my fingers crossed on a grouper here, George. He's got some weight to him.
Yeah?
I don't want to make myself look silly and pull it up and have it be a 12-inch Blueline, but it's got some weight to it.
Trying to
Pool's getting pretty full.
Trying to get you encouragement, just take a look down below. You know what's also intriguing about this too, because you're in a whole entirely different environment compared to your typical bottom fishing haunts, the yellowtailing, wrecks, reefs. You know, you're coming in places 500, 600, 700 feet and doing this. It's an entirely different world.
It is. Well, the other thing to think about is the amount of pressure these fish get. If you look around us, how many other people do you see doing this? We're due south of Cudjoe. I mean, we're right here south of Cudjoe. And everybody thinks of fishing the top of the water out here for dolphin and wahoo, but what about these bottom fish? There's a lot of bottom out here to catch these things on. I should be really close here, George.
So the right components to hand crank deep dropping, you have to have the right outfit, you have to have the right electronics, and you have to have a good person behind the wheel, because whoever's behind that wheel has to compensate for the person who is on the rod. And by compensate, I mean you need to stem the current, back up, so the drift is slowed down, which allows that angler to have more soak time with his baits on the bottom. You don't want to drift past these things at a breakneck speed, but you rather maximize your time over a certain piece of bottom.
Oh, double header.
Double header, that's why it was so heavy. All right.
Oh man, Beau, I'll tell you what, when you want to outdo somebody, hey, look, you look at the bottom
I got
one,
yellow edge.
Yellow edge grouper.
Little bitty guy.
Yeah, Divvy, double header.
Blueline and a juvenile yellow edge grouper. There's no size limits on these guys, but they fall under your grouper aggregate, so you can have 3 of these per person.
Yeah.
Unlike the snowies, we can only have 1 on the boat, period, per day, where we could have a few of these. Now, I've never been lucky enough to catch more than 1 a day, but this is one of my favorite eating fish, period. Absolutely love them.
As far as rigging the rig, when we're looking for a myriad of species, I'll start off with 2 8/0s on the bottom, separated by about a foot between the 2 stopper points for the chicken rig. And then I'll put 2 lighter hooks on the top, and I'll generally use 5/0s or 6/0s on those top 2 hooks. And what we're looking to do is we're trying to set it up so that bigger tilefish, or potentially a grouper, if he were to hit it, he's going to hit those bottom hooks. We have a larger hook to be able to get into his jaw, which they can be pretty big. And then the lighter hooks up top are small enough that the tilefish, smaller tiles, and Rosies, the black-bellied rosefish, can get on those top hooks.
Big Pine and the lower Florida Keys region has plenty of fishing opportunities, as well as things to do. If the family decides to take a day off and they don't want to go out in the boat and fish, It's a family-oriented area, in case in point being the Bahia Honda State Park. It has an award-winning beach. It's a perfect place for the family to kick back and relax, go swimming, soak up some of that famous Florida Keys sunshine. They have 3 camping areas with 80 campsites that can handle both the tents as well as RV campers. No shortage of kayaking. You look around here, it's a very big kayak area. And I've got to tell you, my favorite part about the Bahia Honda State Park, some of the world's best tarpon fishing occurs around these bridges. And I'm talking world-class tarpon fishing. Numbers of tarpon move in and out of these bridges, setting up some of the most spectacular fishing. And I recently had done a tarpon episode with Captain Andrew Tippler, and really in 2 short half days, we released 10 tarpon and jumped off a few more than that. And we're talking fish that could range anywhere from 30 pounds on up to well over 150 pounds. If you want tarpon, this is one of the best places that you could go to catch them.
Got on our spot, dialed in the Simrad. I could see the bottom structure we're looking for.
And you look at the Simrad machine, and that bottom contour is pretty radical. We're out deep, and there's no way that fish can't be around here. We're marking bait, everything. I drop down and bow stem in a current. I get a tap tap, and I'm heavy. And I wind down, and I bring this fish up.
Oh. Might be the one we're looking for, George.
Then the fish got really heavy. And then it got super heavy and started making a little bit of a run towards the bottom.
Maybe halfway up, 350 feet down, something like that. And the fish gets heavier and heavier the more he fights it, but it's nothing ate it. This fish just got bigger and bigger, and George starts fighting him, and when he comes up, we start talking, man, this might be the man in the gray suit ate your bait.
Have you felt any tail beats yet?
No, I'm just sticking in my groove here, sticking with it, getting in my frame of mind and keeping up rhythm.
And you're looking down through this cobalt blue water, just trying to get a glimpse, and now you'd think, well, maybe I do have a shark, and I'm exerting this kind of energy, but you're still hoping. Well, why didn't the shark bite off that mono leader? Why do we still have the shark on? Maybe it still is a grouper.
I want to see color, George. I haven't seen it yet, but I want to see it. And I bet we probably got 100-foot visibility out here and don't know it. I got some color, George. But it's not the man in the brown suit.
Why do you? He's such a discouraging guy sometimes.
He's doing a lot more swimming than I was expecting with that depth.
You're hoping against hope, and you look down there in that water, and you look at this long brown shape. This shark just took you to town and gave you one incredible workout.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, at least you got cooled down. I didn't.
He came up, and as I was trying to leader this fish, he drowned me. I thought I was releasing a tarpon. We end up I get a hold of the leader material.
Oh, there he goes. No?
And that was enough it took for him to get through the 150 leader, and he swam off with our rig.
How you like my shark hole?
I like my biceps.
George Poveromo's World of Saltwater Fishing, proudly brought to you by Penn. Let the battle begin. Rapala, your best shot at a world record. Float On, the original aluminum immersible boat trailer. ACR, the leader in marine safety electronics. We'll be right back.
I'm fishing with Beau Woods off Cudjoe in the Big Pine and the lower Florida Keys region.
One of the good things about using these multi-hook rigs is the possibility to catch more than one fish. George makes a drop, hits the bottom, gets a bite, and we discuss it. Let's get a little greedy. He drops it back. We know we have a fish on. Boop, boop, he gets his second bite.
This new piece of bottom we came to is one of the original deep drop spots I found here off of Key West.
Yeah. Now, is it mostly rock, sand, mix? I mean, what's...
I'll be looking at the same color on your bottom machine, which will generally be sand, be a nice little thin red stripe. When you get on rock, you're going to get a thicker return.
Yep.
And that's what we're looking for. And generally, it's not on the top of that rock, it's on the transition. Right on the edge of that rock to the sand is where you'll get your better bites from.
The other thing to double up, imagine this chicken rig come through the water anywhere from 1 to maybe 2 knots. It's basically a trolling rig. When you get that thump and these fish are chewing on the bait, sometimes you want to go into free spool and let that sinker go down to the bottom and give these fish a few extra seconds to try to consume the bait and get on the hook.
You do. You got a Rosie and a big tile.
Check that tile. Ooh, he is barely hooked, George. All right, get him in somehow.
Grab that lead out from underneath me.
I'd be happy to. Oh, it's the lightest thing I lifted all day is that lead.
They like the, look at there. Barely on there.
Barely on. I lost my trophy blue line tile. This is a good size for a blue liner.
That's a good one. I'll take them all day.
Blue line tilefish are exceptional table fare. And we wasted a little time taking that one off the circle hook and putting that down on the ice in the Mako's fish box.
And the blue line tile, generally, size-wise, much smaller than the Goldens.
Yeah, oh, big time. Yeah, the Goldens can get up to 40, 50, 60 pounds. These guys right here, I've never seen one much over 10.
Yeah.
A 10's a monster.
All right, on the ice.
Put them in there.
For your contribution to the dinner.
This new spot was red hot. I'm talking just as soon as my weight had hit the bottom for the very first time, you feel tug, tug, tug.
That color, guys. This has got you a double on the tile, sir.
Beautiful size on them too. Check these out.
They're a good one. There you go, buddy.
Come on now. Get them both in there.
Uh-oh.
Grab this one, George. Which one?
Oh, I thought he came loose, but he didn't. Bait just slid out of his mouth. Look at that guy. You see that bear trauma kicked in was actually lifting them for us.
That's what I like.
We're missing the bait on the back when George, you almost had a triple.
I thought so.
We are limited on one of us, and one of us can have 2 more of these guys.
All right.
I can't barely get my finger in there. There we go. Come on, baby. That's a good one right there, George.
They're beautiful.
That's a fish. I've seen blue lines a little bigger than this, but they don't get much bigger.
George's Tackle Locker, brought to you by King Sailfish, the pioneer of catch and release mounts. Visit kingsailfish.com.
Engel was the first company to introduce a one-piece roto-molded high-performance cooler in the U.S. capable of ice retention of up to 10 days. These ultra-durable coolers retain their cold through a full 2 inches of insulation in their lids, within their bottom and sides, and silicone gaskets for airtight seals. Backed by a 10-year warranty, Engel Performance Coolers keep provisions well iced. They're also great for keeping trolling baits cool and moist, and neatly arranged within their own Engel bait trays. The larger models are even perfect for the day's catch. The rugged coolers hold up to harsh season environments and make stable platforms on which to stand on or sit while fishing. They're now available in white, tan, haze gray, seafoam, arctic blue, and camo. The trick in achieving long periods of cold retention involves first sacrificing a bag of ice, which chills down the walls, and purchasing chilled drinks and water versus warm ones. Drain the cooler from the sacrificial bag of ice, add drinks, and cover with ice. Just drain any excess water daily. Engel's hard shell ice packs are also a big aid in keeping the cold over the long haul.
Mercury Performance Stats, Cujo, Florida Keys. Seas 2 feet. Power, triple 350 horsepower Mercury Verado outboards. Consistent cruise, 5,000 RPM. Total miles traveled, 85. Total fuel burned, 77 gallons. We'll be right back. George Poveromo's World of Saltwater Fishing, proudly brought to you by Starbright, professional grade boat care products. Papa's Pilar Artesian Crafted Rum, never a spectator. The Florida Keys and Key West, come as you are. King Sailfish, the pioneer of catch and release mounts. Visit kingsailfish.com.
When I'm fishing down in the Big Pine, Lower Florida Keys region, I stay at Palmer's Resort. It's just a very comfortable property, and that's what I like about it the most. It's comfortable, it's laid back, and that the layout features cottages, suites, efficiency studios, and regular rooms that are spaced out over 5 acres. And the good thing, you come in late from a day of fishing, right down the street, there's Kiki's Sandbar. You grab yourself a quick dinner, get back to Palmer's, get a good night rest, get up in the morning, go fishing, and just basically repeat the whole scenario all over again. If you're down in the Big Pine, Lower Florida Keys region, whether you're bringing your own boat or not, check out Palmer's Resort, an unbelievable spot and one of my favorites when I'm down in this area.
Oh, somebody's eating that thing. That feels like a Rosie for sure, George.
Are you thinking Rosie or tile?
Yeah.
So I started losing track. We had done so many drops on this place, both of us taking turns. I'd try to get him to do it twice before I had to do it once. But we get up on top of it, and I think we probably had 5 different drops that we pulled at least 2 rosefish at a time on a 4-hook rig, which is a pretty good average.
That's awesome. Yep, that little breakaway we put on there worked perfectly. That was what we wanted to happen.
So George and I discussed this getting a little later in the day. Both of our forearms look like Popeye.
And as we like to say, it's unfortunate, but it's time to head for the barn. Beau was on his last drift and saw the rod bend. He's hooked up. He's got one. We know that. Beau said, I'm throwing this ball in the end zone. He drops down. He wants to load up. There's another one he hooks up.
George and I had a great trip this go around, but we put a lot of really good eating fish in the boat.
And what a way to sort of end the day on that note. Cleaned up the Mark 6 a little bit, racked the rods, and headed back to Cudjoe, very happy with our calf catch. The bottom fishing out here, hand cranking, was very, very rewarding, and yet it was just another excellent trip that Beau and I had the good fortune of sharing together.
Stay in touch with George. Visit GeorgePoveromo.com. On Facebook, Facebook.com/George.Poveromo. On Instagram, @GeorgePoveromo. YouTube, George Poveromo TV. And on mobile devices, Waypoint TV.